I'm going to bring up to the stage right now the founder, the producer, the man behind it all. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Paul Stanford!
Thank you, Gaio. Thank you, folks, for staying. Just got to hear one of the greatest bands here in the Northwest, Herbivores. Our next speaker came here from the East Coast. She's been organizing to try to keep the legacy of a famous author alive, this fellow, Peter McWilliams. Peter McWilliams wrote a series of books about improving yourself. He was a New York Times #1 best-selling author. And back about 20 years ago, he worked with a local Los Angeles young man to start writing books about marijuana cultivation and ending marijuana prohibition, medical marijuana. So the federal government busted him and the other author and put them through hell. They told Peter McWilliams, even though he was treating himself with protease inhibitors for HIV, that he couldn't use medical marijuana. Well, Peter McWilliams died in a bout of nausea, throwing up in his bathroom when he inhaled and died. So the federal government, the federal judge, would not allow him to use cannabis to treat his nausea and dealing with that. And he died because of marijuana prohibition. He's been working to keep the memory of Peter McWilliams alive. I'd just like to introduce Julia. He's going to talk to you for just a moment. Thanks for coming, folks. Happy Hempstalk.
Hi, everybody. How many people agree with this quote? Nausea is an unsolved problem of medicine, and marijuana is the finest anti-nausea medication known to science. Thank you very much. Well, that is a quote from Peter McWilliams. If you see that banner over there, do you see it still? You see Jack Harrer, and you see Peter right next to him, don't you? They both admired each other and the work that they did. Peter was an amazing author. He wrote over 40 books, self-published them all himself, and he tried so hard to help people feel better about themselves. And in March 1996, he was diagnosed with AIDS and cancer, and he used to run to the bathroom and vomit and vomit and vomit. And then he discovered that the medical marijuana was the one thing keeping those medications down. He got healthier. Yes, he did. He wrote this book called Ain't Nobody's Business If You Do. How many of you are familiar with that book? Yeah! Awesome sauce. Okay. So he wrote this book, and people started noticing the DEA agents that would raid people's houses in California. They started noticing Peter's little red book everywhere they went. And so they started picking on Peter. They raided him. They took his computer. They took his work. And this wonderful publisher, who had been everywhere from Oprah to the Today Show, was now bankrupt because of what the DEA did to him. They jailed him for 30 days without his medicine. And he was told if he ever did cannabis again, his mother and brother would lose their homes. Yeah, exactly. He once said, I realized marijuana is a medicine, a legitimate medicine, a remarkable medicine, able to treat a multitude of ills. So, my friends, I hope all of you on November 4th vote for 91. You know why? Because if you don't, we're going to have many more people die as a result of marijuana prohibition. Please remember Peter McWilliams, and in his words, while alive, live. Thank you very much. Bless you. Thank you.
Let's hear it again for Julia.